So, hello. So yeah, hello. I will be streaming Pokemon Violet today, and I will be doing a WONDERLOCKE challenge. I have been playing Pokemon Violet for basically a week. And I've been having so much fun. So yeah, here's my character. She's called, what did I call her? Mireia, I think. Mireia, that was it. Yeah. So I haven't started like anything yet. But I'm gonna blast through the beginning so that we can get to the good stuff, because technically the challenge won't start until we get to the part where the online features open up. I lacked a bit of foresight and didn't fix that beforehand, so I apologize for that. And here we have him, my favorite character in the whole game. We're just gonna speed through this part. The first time I really felt like these two are vibing, and now I'm jealous. But yeah, I've been playing through Pokemon Violet the past week, and yesterday I didn't think I was doing a too long run. It was only 14 hours. So I came home after a doctor's appointment that stressed me out, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna wind down a little bit and start gaming. And then I started grinding. I've been working on getting my Pokédex done. And then suddenly it was no longer afternoon. And then suddenly it was no longer evening. And then suddenly it was no longer night. I had no clue that I stayed up for that long. But it was so much fun, actually. I really enjoyed it. And the game is very enjoyable. It's buggy, don't get me wrong. The controversy is there for a reason. But damn, this is like... It's like when Skyrim first came out, and everything was just... It was a mess. Things didn't work, things didn't behave, the strangest of things happen. But my oh my, did we have fun. That's kind of sad in its own way, isn't it? Now look at those three. They're so cute. I really think that all the starters are wonderful in their own way. And now that I know what their final forms look like, I really think they nailed it with this generation. Like, I might be a little bit uncomfortable with the way Quackleval dances all the time, but that's not because I think it's bad design or anything. It's just that I get so stressed. It's never still. Da-da-da. Yes, thank you, Mom. Give me stuff. Give me my phone. The Crocodile got... I wasn't spoiled on the appearances before the launch, so everything came as a surprise to me as I was playing. But out of the 3 starters, I heard a lot of people say not so nice things about Quaxly's final form. So I was a little bit apprehensive. I think you can run once you go down this road. They are so cute and they're just exploring and it's so cute. I know I'm repeating myself, but it stands to be said several times. There we go, finally we can run. It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that this house is not just a place where you met. It's Nemona's house. It's her family's house. We're in her garden. Towards the end of the game, she calls the beach in the back her backyard. And she doesn't want to go there because it ain't special. And well, yeah, I feel a bit jealous. Yeah, she is a rich girl. And when people point that out to her, she's like, it's not that bad, is it? I mean, mother and father don't spoil me. Now, since we're doing a Wonderlock, it doesn't actually matter what we are picking, because we're not going to keep our starter. That's the sad part. Well, not too sad. Someone is going to be happy with them, I'm sure. But just for the sake of getting anywhere, I'm gonna fix Brigatito this time, just because I think it's so cute. Yeah, sure, we can be friends. Now, Nimona is very one-note as a character. So she's kind of predictable, and I don't dislike it, it's just... I wish I could have learned a bit more about her other than she likes battles. And she's rich. I mean, look at it. I like that they have started to incorporate more and more in the past generations. More complex sounds in a Pokemon's cries. So Sprigatito has the purr of a cat. We're not gonna get nicknames because they won't matter. Ah, I want to keep that picture at least. That's the cutest shit. I really like Nimona as we get to know her, but it feels like she doesn't really have a story arc, and the others do, and that's kind of sad, actually. She doesn't really do much except act as your rival, and barely that. But then again, the writing in Pokemon games is rarely the reason we're here, so to speak. We're here for the cute little monsters, and the cool little monsters, and the weird little monsters. So let's just get the beginning out of the way. I really should have done the beginning off screen, but I will. Like this little beach here. This is apparently no big deal for Nimona. They have an entire battle court in their quote-unquote backyard. And like as someone pointed out that her first instinct was to use her regular team, which is like champion level. So for a moment she was like, when us regular players go around and beat, you know, youngsters after we've beaten the Elite Four. And it was a good point. Sometimes when you're playing Pokemon, you're not being fair to anyone. Like you go through a forest and find a pair of twins who are just out having a day with their Clefairy and their Jigglypuff. And they ask to battle. And you bring out like your EV trained pro Pokemon and curb stomp them a little bit. And then you make them give you their money. I suppose that's one thing that I wish we could live in a Pokemon world a little bit more. It would be so nice if you could just make a living going on an adventure with Pokemon. As long as you win enough battles to keep yourself afloat. Well, technically aren't all Pokemon trainers like vagrants? I wonder how that would work in countries where vagrancy is illegal. Just get going. There's so much. Someone made a post about how the beginning of the Pokemon games are like they're the worst part of the games because it's like 2 hours of just, unless you're speeding through it as much as you can. It's like 2 hours of just slogging through, unlocking everything, and getting to a point where you can actually play. And they described that as the longest line in the DMV. And I thought that was kind of good. Ah yes, the sandwich from Mom. Such an important thing. I do think it's kind of sweet that they keep this whole. You can always come home and your mom will heal you. It gives you a little bit of security. I read once that when kids grow and learn, one of the most important things to teach them is that it's okay to cry and go to mommy or daddy or whoever. Because when they know that there is a place for safety and oh, look at those frames drop. When there is a place for safety, then that means that exploration is also safe. So now what WONDERLOCKE means, as opposed to a standard Nuzlocke, is that we are not going to care about what we're catching at the moment. We're just going to care about the numbers of what we're catching. We're going to start catching this wonderful little red chunk. And I mentioned this in my previous stream that I really love that for once you get to be the one catching the tutorial Pokemon. This always feels a little bit patronizing that they made us watch as someone else catch them. Like, we've been playing these games for so long. And we're not gonna give nicknames because it's not a Nuzlocke, it's a WONDERLOCKE. We're not gonna get any emotional attachment to any of these. There we go. Now we have a little bit more freedom. And since it's not the first playthrough, I think it's safe to just rush through this as quick as we can. Because we're gonna abide some Nuzlocke rules. And I was thinking that I am not gonna make a full team right away. Yes. You saw me catch a Lechonk. There we go. Now there's one Pokemon we are gonna form an emotional attachment to. And that's obviously our buddy. Our robot lizard dog bike. Look at it, it looks so beautiful. I think that is so hilarious that your Rotom phone is strong enough to carry your full weight. Hello. Hello, little friend. Yeah, let's give him Mom's sandwich. Most important item in the game. Go on. I do think that they did great animating Miraidon. And probably Koraidon as well. This moves so much, both as a lizard and as a cat. And I enjoy both of them so much. It's so playful. Here we go. Flex those thunder thingies. You're doing amazing, sweetie. And can we move it? Can we move? Yeah, there we go. Come right on. Let's go through the grotto. Yes, yes, I'm coming. I'm fine, I'm fine. The Rotom phone seen me. That? Wonderful, wonderful. I love Houndoom in the background, like, bitch, what are you doing in my house? I really think that whoever it was who came up with escort quests and stuff like that, that person is mean and cruel and should be dragged out in an alley and be shot. Okay. Almost out of here. Come on, you can go. Houndoom is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon. It's a good doggo. It's a good devil doggo. Now come on, Sprigatito. Come on. Beat the Firehound. I don't think it even attacked. I think it just opened its mouth at me and... yeah. I think Sprigatito just dead. Release the hounds! If there's any noise in the background, that's just the cats eating. They just got fed. Oh, that you're just hanging in its arm and like, okay, so this is what we're doing now? I guess? And there's not much left before we can do some trading. He's a bit tired. A bit tired and traumatized. Our little buddy. You just want to go home. And that is a effective way of getting a girl's number, I can guarantee you that. There we go. So let him move, let's move. Little sweetheart. It's a bit interesting seeing the beginning again. Because I beat the game, well, the main story, yesterday. Everything is very fresh. He's such an ass in the beginning. No wonder I love him. I like this move right and it's like, yeah, I'm home. Let me go in. I want to take a nap. I want to have some kibbles. Such a dork, I love him. Okay. He's so mean to Miraidon. Arwen is definitely my favorite of the friend group that you get. He has a great storyline. Alright, you climbed up in the lighthouse. There's no end to the talking and the exposition and the... Again, I'm really sorry I didn't do this beforehand. I should have thought ahead. Alright, there you go. Now the history teacher says that a Pokeball on the building is a fairly recent addition, and I just want to know how that conversation went when they were like, "Yes, this building that is over 800 years old, we need to spruce it up a bit, make it a little bit more popular with the kids. Let's build a giant Pokeball on top of it." Not on top of it, but like it's the first thing you see. If you sort of like taking the Notre Dame and hanging a gigantic disco ball in it, just to get some more attention to it. I'm gonna avoid the trainers for now. So I think that we unlock the online stuff the moment we get to the Pokemon Center over there. So what I'm thinking is that we will follow the Nuzlocke rules of catching one Pokemon per area, but the areas are a bit hard in this game, because in other games we got roads, and there's quite a few of them. You get plenty of chances to get Pokemon. But here's like this entire area. This would have been like at least 3 roads, 4 if you count this one, in another Pokemon game. But here it's just one area, including the water. So it's a little bit difficult to figure out how different the rules are gonna be. But we're gonna now. I'm not gonna catch one here. We'll count Lechonk as this area's caught one. We're not gonna train either because it won't be much of a point. Sophie? How you doing? How is the evening treating you? Or afternoon or whatever. Procrastination, my old friend. Yeah, isn't it a lovely little hoodie? I didn't make it, but when I saw it on a website that hosts stuff like that, I just fell in love with it. So it's so cute. But yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna connect to the internet. And now we have a level 7 Sprigatito and a level 3 Lechonk. I thought I... Oh no, don't tell me that I don't have it. Because if I don't have it, we're gonna have to do a regular Nuzlocke instead. Alright, we're gonna see. I just don't wanna do the account information on the stream, so give me just a minute. Hopefully this won't take long at all. Okay, now I'm confused because I was so certain that I had the family account. But there is the option of a free 7-day trial. So we can deal with that. Alright. Let's see if it works. Yes, we got online mode. Thank goodness. Oh, I really should have checked more things. So how this works is that we're gonna go into surprise trade. I don't have any Pokemon in my boxes. Okay, I need to catch. No, we don't. We don't have to do that all at once. So we're gonna put Sprigatito in here. And what we're aiming for right now is a Pokemon that is around the same level. Let's say if it's between level 5 and 10, we'll keep whatever Pokemon comes. And one fun thing with these challenges is that it always feels a little bit good to do a wonder trade with rare or exclusive Pokemon or starters. So when you trade away your starter, someone will get it. Someone will be happy to have a little Sprigatito, hopefully. And if we get one that is too high level, we will just trade that one again. So I've decided to go with a WONDERLOCKE. Oh, a Venomoth. That's probably gonna be too strong. I decided to go with a WONDERLOCKE instead of the traditional Nuzlocke because the Nuzlocke usually relies on the randomness of the encounters in the previous games. That's not really a thing here. Yeah, it's level 32. We're gonna trade that again. Sorry about that noise. The cat is upset. That's the basics of a WONDERLOCKE. You trade away the Pokemon that you get, and then standard Nuzlocke rules apply. If my Pokemon faints, I will wonder trade it. I can use the next one. Now, some people do this with a game over thing that once you have lost, like, you consider that your Pokemon are in slots. Like, once your number one Pokemon has fainted, it's considered dead, and you trade it away. That's how it works. If it's the right level. It's level 1! We're gonna struggle a bit. And I will do the same with the Lechonk. We should be able to do something. I got a very small baby. So let's say that we trade this Sprigatito let's say that we got Azuriel right away. Now if Azuriel faints, we'll trade it away. And once that Pokemon faints, we'll trade that one again. But once that Pokemon faints, it's dead. Then we can't trade that away. And that's how you get a game over in a Wonderlock. Because eventually you won't have any Pokemon. So I think it's a little more forgiving than a traditional Nuzlocke. It doesn't. It's okay to like wipe out and things like that. I do love the den. I think I got an even smaller baby there. It's 8 inches tall. Let's see what level that one is. Please, please. Oh no, we have to trade it. I'm sorry, Den. You're adorable. You will have a good life eventually. Yeah, 2 of the smallest Pokemon. Yeah, the baby fairies aren't exactly the most imposing team of all. We're gonna have to run back to the very start and try to train a little bit there. We might, I hope things are gonna work well, but if we absolutely can't, if we absolutely can't train a level 1 Pokemon, we might have to cheat a little bit. Please tell me it's got a good level, please tell me it's a good level. What level is it? It's level 1! The rules are, they can't be too high level. So the Den was level 31, and that's not what I'm about. I don't want to start a game with a level 31 Pokemon. That's not. But they have good moves though. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to get these. At least we should be able to get Charcadet to a decent level. Because it's fairly strong. And there's a lot of bug Pokemon. So let's start by bringing that one and see if we can't burn some bugs to death. That was a rather big glitch if you saw that one. Yeah, we're gonna exterminate those Tarantulas. It's gonna be I think this early part is gonna be like the biggest challenge, at least for now. We're literally starting with babies. And we're gonna have to make that work somehow. If we're really lucky, we might find some XP candy. Ooh, Hoppip, you're weak. You're terribly weak. Alright, it's level 4. It's not too strong. We can do this. Please don't one-shot him. Her. It's a girl. It's a girl Charcadet. Yep. My team is... My team is the most ludicrous team right now. They have no power. Ah, fine. Okay, now I'm a little less worried. So that feels good. I want to get them up to... I'd like to get them up to level 7 before we go back to the little town. Now I'm playing it risky. I'm a mad lad. And I'm not scared of Hoppip. Much. A little bit, but just a little bit. There we go. Alright, we're gonna run back home to Mom. As you do when you're in trouble. It's always the innocent faces. Have you noticed that? The innocent faces are always the ones who are like... It's like Esper. Esper looks so cute and so innocent, but you know. You know it has killed and it will kill again. Hi Ma, I'm back. It's a scary world out there. Yeah, that's a benefit that you can... You're not as exposed to the elements. There's a lot more feeling of enjoying the gameplay rather than being scared of it, if that makes sense. I think we've gathered some healing items. Oh yeah, we got a lot of them actually. So we shouldn't have to run back home to Mom over and over. Like, are we rich too? Because we have that very nice house with a huge garden and an ocean view. So like, do we rival Nimona in terms of family wealth? Probably not. But like, are we upper class? Are we upper middle class? These are the questions that I need answered for my fanfictions. I need to know, did we grow up, you know, eating out of a frisbee or with silver utensils? There's a string. Well, yeah, we are out in the sticks, aren't we? Like, in order to get to the closest town, like for groceries, we need to walk through quite a bit of Pokemon infested areas. And that's the dream, isn't it? Getting the big house in the middle of nowhere where no one can bother you. Or am I just incredibly introverted? I actually, just for fun, sometimes I look at house listings, even though, you know, it's not on the map, it's not even in the same room as the map. But sometimes I look at house listings just for fun. I wanna train with Azurill as well. And I started looking at houses that are more remote areas. I found this very, very sweet cottage. Absolutely beautiful. It was dark brown, like very natural wood. But it had pink shutters, which was adorable. It had a huge lawn, it had a shed. It had... I think it had a sauna. in the cellar. It was just generally a very nice little house. But it was 3 kilometers away from the nearest town, which means that you're not gonna be able to do a lot of shoppings if you're walking. Now for that road to the next town, that was the highway, so it wasn't like, oh, it's okay, you can Bumblebee, that's nice. So it wasn't like, oh, it's okay, you can just, it takes a bit, but you can walk. If at a brisk pace, 3 kilometers is not much. But it was really like, oh yeah, you can walk, but like, you shouldn't. And the kicker of this house that I absolutely adored was the name of the area in which it lived. Yes, the house lived in. The name of the area was Modviken, which is Swedish, and it means Murder Bay. So it was a cottage in the woods in Murder Bay. And I have had so much fun with that, like the idea that someone lives away from everyone else. Like, imagine being stuck on the highway, your car breaks down, and you look around for help and you see this little cottage. You're gonna try fighting this guy. And you're like, oh yeah, I should ask for help. And as you walk past a sign that says Murder Bay. Like at that point, you're just like, you're a character who hasn't read enough of the script. You really shouldn't be going there. And one really nice thing about the Wonder Trade is that when you get random babies, they tend to be pretty strong because they get a lot of nice moves from the parents. So this little Azurill is holding out better than I thought it would be. It's not strong, but an Azurill isn't strong. Come on. Yeah, there we go. I applaud you for having the patience to build the houses you see in Sims. Yes, I tried building a house in Sims based on a real house, and that was difficult. That shit's hard. I did try to build my parents' house once in Sims. Unfortunately, my parents' house is stupid. Especially since the entrance is like... The entrance is halfway down the stairs to the basement. So it's like almost a split level, but there is no level on like ground level. So I guess it's a little bit difficult to build houses like that. I do think that these little kids are adorably made. I really like the trainer models in this game. They did so many different body types and interesting characters. And by so many I mean many for a Pokemon game, which is still like usually more than most games get. And I really enjoy that they have gone with quite a bit of like gender equality for the designs. So like the girls are buff and the boys are buff. The girls are chubby, the boys are chubby. There we go. Alright. I want to get Shark Cadet to level 7. I don't want to do that by fighting a Shootle. Come on, there should be a bug here somewhere. I know there's scatterbugs here somewhere. Ah, there you are. I almost stepped on you, little guy. Hello. Do you mind awfully if I burn you to cinders? No, no, no. I think this should be enough to get it up a level. Ah, we'll count it. We'll count it. We'll keep going. Although the Tarantula, it should be able to handle that. At least I hope so, because I am thrilled that I got a Shark Cadet. Good, good. Come on. You think we can take it with one more, or should... No, I want to heal, I want to heal. I don't want to risk it. Not so early. There we go. Now since we get our Pokemon through trades rather than catching them, there's not much... we're not gonna have nicknames. Because I don't remember, I don't think I've found the nickname guy in this game, if there is one. Because I did that a few generations back, right? Changed so that you can give a traded Pokemon a nickname. There isn't a nickname, right? Okay. Well, that solves that. Oh, okay, you can do that. That easy. Let's see if I have... Let's see what we got then. Yes, I know, honey. Oh yeah, there is a change nickname thing here. Thanks! Alright, so... I'm gonna... I'm trying to think of a OC I might have that I want to name her after. Yeah, let's... There we go. Buff farms, that's good, that's good. That's a real... You know what? There we go. Alright, we have our little team. So let's look at the map. I want to see... Now since this is another area... No wait, this is... Yeah, this whole thing is an area. This whole thing is South Province 1, so we can't catch anyone more until we get to either that place or that place. We'll decide where we go when we get there. So we're gonna Gonna try to fight some trainers. Try to see if we're strong enough to keep going. So I want to take the long way around. So there's a lot of trainers up on this little stretch of road. Yeah, buff arms has no arms. That's why it's hilarious. Oh, Sunkern. I can fight a Sunkern. I could take a Sunkern in a fight, I think. Like in real life. There we go. Yeah, I should be able to endure that. I feel like if you put me and Sunkern in a ring, you would probably be right in betting your money on me. You got 2 Pokemon? So do I, bitch. I think it is, yeah, I think Sunkern is lowest. Which was hilarious in... I like that little glitch when the camera ends up on a slope. So it just goes through. It was hilarious how Sunkern and Mew and I think Ditto were the only ones in Heart Gold and Soul Silver who had like... Oh no, don't do that to her. They were the only ones who could have 5 stars in every ranking in the Pokeflon. And I thought that was so hilarious. Like they put that in for Sunkern just for fun. Remember that was like that was like the Olympic Games but for Pokemon. So Sunkern had 5-star rating in pushing and jumping and sprinting and stuff like that. It doesn't have legs. I didn't actually read what other Pokemon it had. But Aurora is a bit hurt, so I want to swap. I should be paying more attention. There's lives at stake. Houndour, okay, good. Good. I love Houndour. Now come on, buff arms. Show them your guns. Your water guns. This is good. This is good. There we are. Good there. Good. Yeah, that's what happens when you fuck around and find out. There we go. Do we need anything else? Is it glitching when I go into menus again? Because I did that before. But not in this game, I think. One day, I will get a better graphic card. Get better capture card. Hello, sir. You look kind. One day I will have the tech to actually have a good setup. Gulpin! God, I love Gulpin. No, I don't like that. She sleeps, she's vulnerable. No. Darling. No, you must wake up, Okay, good. Okay, we got... At least we can take a few hits. Okay, good, that was it. Clear smoke. Yeah, let's clear. I actually don't know if they will obey you throughout. In which case, there's another layer of the challenge that becomes interesting, because it means that you're gonna have to clear the gyms in order for them not to, you know, roll over and die. And I would be surprised if they obeyed me, even though they go past that level. And without any badges, that level is gonna be 20, right? Yeah. So like, once they hit around 17, we're gonna have to really think about getting those badges. And I think there are several games that only go in increments of 5. So we have a little bit of a, not technically a time challenge, but definitely a challenge that has a little bit of like checkpoints, I would like to say. I know there's a trainer over here too. I want to go with trainers a lot, because frankly I spend so much time exploring and everything in my main save file that I actually just did not fight many trainers at all, and I feel like I missed it. So I'm going for it this time. Alright, I'm a little bit worried. I mean, not too worried. But anytime a water Pokemon comes out now, I'm definitely gonna be like, ooh, should I play it safe? But it is gonna be fine. Aurora is a tough one, so. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like a little bit worrying what level something has. When I got the option to like start exploring properly, you know, after you get introduced to the class and everything, I thought, okay, so they told me to go to the west gate. Okay, I go to the west gate, and then I go there, and there are Pokemon that are my level. Oh, okay, this is cool. This is cool. Oh, stop glitching. I thought, yeah, we can deal with this. And then I go up to one of the trainers, and his Pokemon are level 40, because I accidentally went to the Elite Four instead of the East Gate. And that's how I found out that you can forfeit battles. Now, you can actually run from trainer battles. And I don't know if that's like new in this game, or if that was... Yeah, you basically give up some of your money and you get transported to a Pokemon Center. And thank goodness for that. I think we're gonna have to change back to Aurora. I mean, buff arms can make a valiant effort, but I don't think we can bubble beam this one to death. Yeah, I was so surprised when I saw that feature. Pleasantly surprised. Because I always wanted the option to be like, okay, fine, you win. I don't want my entire team to suffer through the humiliating defeat when I know that I lost. I'm not that kind of fighter. And I give her upper. I want to train a little bit more, but we're going at a decent pace. Because really is gonna be so weak for so long. I don't remember right now. Does Azuriel evolve from friendship? Or is it a level? Because if it evolves through friendship, yeah, it might behoove us to invest in some picnic stuff. Because then we would be quite fortunate if we can get a Meryl quite soon. No, I don't care about charm. I think they get a little bit more friendship. Oh, that Lechonk came for me. I think you get a little more friendship if you let them walk around with you. And if you just walking normally. Walking normally gives friendship too. But I think they are a little bit happier walking around. But there are a lot of Pokemon that are quite slow. There is this NPC in... oh god, I've forgotten the name now. The village in the icy area where the ghost gym leader is. And there's this little girl there who walks back and forth, like just regular, I'm an NPC, I'm walking. And she has a Snom as a companion. And that Snom is so slow, so I actually spent quite a few minutes just watching how that little girl's steps. She walks slow too. And like how the distance between the two grew and grew and grew and grew until she stopped because she had reached her, you know, designated route. But she couldn't keep walking until Snom had caught up with her, so she just kept walking in place and then she would like turn around. But she kept walking in place and like, Snom, are you on your way? Alright. Alright, so let's see here. Do we have anything we might need? We might want to invest in some potions. I wanna have a few Pokédolls really, just in case. This is actually the first game. Well, no, I tell a lie. This is the second game where I actually felt like Pokédolls were useful. And the first one was Arceus. That was nice. Like, I like that they made it a little bit easier to get in over your head. It's definitely a new experience when you're like, no, I don't actually want to fight this, and I am way too low level to actually do anything about it. You keep getting can't escape, can't escape, can't escape. Sometimes when I think about some of the phrases you see in Pokemon all the time, like can't escape or gotcha and stuff like that, I think about how small I was when I started playing Pokemon, because I didn't know English very well when I started. So I had no idea what gotcha meant, and I had no idea what escape meant. I barely knew what can't was. So I was just like, I would read it and over and over, and I felt like I didn't know what it said. So I almost like felt like it was mocking me. Yes, I've defeated 4 trainers. 7 indeed. Like, there were a lot of times in the early Pokemon games when I just... There we go. When I just had no idea what was happening because I didn't know the text. And sometimes I knew just enough to get it entirely wrong. For example, I thought that Aerodactyl was considered a sweet Pokemon. Because the Pokédex says that it's rare. And there are a lot of words that are similar in Swedish and English. So I thought, okay, maybe rare is the same. So Aerodactyl is rar, which means sweet and adorable. And I thought that was very funny, then I got very confused when I saw the Aerodactyl in the anime. I think that's one of the more fun things with learning a new language. When you look back at it and you're like, wow, I've grown, because now I don't sound like an idiot. Oh, we're gonna have to change. Oh, I just realized we have no one that is good against water type. So Nimona is an actual rival right now. Let's see if we can put it to sleep. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm not happy about this. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I will allow myself to run from battles without any penalties. Because I don't hate myself enough to let my entire team get killed. I feel like this is a grass is greener on the other side kind of thing, because I actually think that several of the uniform in Scarlet look very good. But like, none of the uniforms are particularly good, are they? But yeah, I like some of the... Oh no, don't do that. Okay. So I wanna trade back. I really am pissed about the uniforms, honestly. The fact that I think that there should be some sort of rule, like if you made a game where you had character customization, and you make a new game that is a sequel, you should be obligated to have as much customization or more. I feel like I want that. I know it's maybe not the nicest thing to say now when we're dealing with a product of overworking culture and crunch culture and everything, but yet it is like, oh, that was bad. Oh, I'm so nervous for little Aurora. Because I don't know when Quaxley is gonna wake up, and they just used work up quite a lot. Yeah, exactly. Like, my friend pointed out that it's probably a little bit of a power fantasy for Japanese students, since they have often very strict uniform rules. But here it's like, oh yeah, you can use your uniform, but you can accessorize however you want, and you can use, you can have whatever haircut you want, whatever hair color you want, and like, so that's a novelty for a school uniform in Japan. But also like I say, they shouldn't wear them 24/7. And Penny gets to get away with it. Penny gets to wear her adorable outfit. Yeah, an option to switch between uniform and casual would have been lovely. And it's not like it's not like it's a huge deal. I mean, in Arceus, they did. I'm gonna keep. In Arceus, they did have that thing where it's very subtle, but when you go indoors, you take your shoes off, and that happens automatically. And it happens so seamlessly as well, so it's like they could just do it like when you go into the school. There's your uniform. I don't want it to have more power, I want Aurora to survive. No! Yeah, buff arms? Help? Okay, I wanna heal Aurora first. We're gonna see how this goes out. Okay. Yeah, buff arms should be able to tank this for just a little bit. And it should be enough. Now buff arms isn't water yet, it's gonna turn into water, but right now it's actually fairy and normal. You think we can risk singing? I think we can risk singing. Stop it! Good, good. Okay, that might give us a turn or two. Please let it give us a turn or two. Okay, good, good. Keep sleeping. Keep sleeping. Good, good. Alright, we should be able to do this if we keep sleeping. Alright, one more. So as long as buff arms... Actually, if we heal buff arms, it should be able to take even a critical hit. And if Tommy wakes up in this turn, it's faster than buff arms. And that means that it might actually be able to take it out. So I'm gonna play it a little bit too safe. Let's see how that works. Alright, alright. Yeah, we should be able to take another hit like that, even if it is a critical hit. Whew. There we go. Alright. This was the toughest battle I've fought in this game so far. Oh. That's the wonder with these challenges, isn't it? You get to play in a whole new way, because normally I'm like, you know that post that is like, yeah, I love strategy games. My strategy is to be stronger than the opponent. Like that's me to a T. Ah, revives. Useless in this challenge. I don't remember. Doesn't Nimona challenge you to yet another battle right after the class, first classroom session and stuff like that? I feel like we should train some more. Oh yeah, the Team Star battle. And they're usually not too difficult. Yeah, I think we can keep going. I think we can keep going. I think I can. I think I can. Ah, the biggest city, huh? I do love the mosaic on the ground. But this town definitely suffers from the open world curse. It's what worried me when people said that it was gonna be open world. Cause it's a nice concept, but there's actually very few games that manage to do a good setting in an open world. Because there are so many places that just like they look empty. Either everything is too close together and too much distances apart, or they're just spread out so much that it feels like it just doesn't feel like it's a place even. Personally, I think that the Legends of Arceus, they did a fairly good middle ground between open world and not open world, with huge areas that you can explore as much as you want, but it's still like you have limits. Now I am a vain bastard, so I do wanna accessorize a little bit. Yeah, like Pokemon is attractive as an open world setting. Yeah, since it's, as you say, you're supposed to look in every nook and cranny. Do we have anything that matches my hair? Oh god, that made me sound like such a terrible customer. Imagine someone coming into a clothing store and be like, "Hi, I was wondering if you had something that matches my eyes and my hair." Now that I think of it, there's probably more people than I realize who actually do that. Kinda like those shoes. I think this is the part I hate most about the uniforms. What is the point of being able to get like green sneakers when everything I wear is purple and white and yellow? Like, I'm sure there's some people who can pull it off, but I don't think I'm one of those people. And like, when you get to the really expensive stores, you know, the ones that are really, really fancy, and you can get like leather stuff, you can get a leather backpack, you can get leather gloves, you can get dress shoes. You can get dress shoes in gold. Or I think there's even a leopard print. And like, sir, I'm wearing shorts. Why should I wear dress shoes? It's so silly. So the only choice you have is to match with the uniform, or just go full on weirdo. Yeah, and that's probably the worst part with the scarlet clothes, right? Because at least the purple stuff kinda matches with the violet stuff, and especially if you go to the store that have type colors rather than just colors, you know, when they have ghost type or grass type and stuff. Ghost type matches violet very well. I actually kind of like the white sneakers though. I'm gonna get those. Yeah, can't you at least have a change of some muted colors or something like that? Something that just, you know, it doesn't have to violate the school code or something. Or just something simple like, let me wear long pants. Let me choose between long pants and short pants. But still have that top, like, I don't want to wear the winter uniform just to get long pants. Let's shake it then. I do actually kind of like that look. Yeah, I want something breezy for my upper body, and something that actually protects my calves when I'm exploring and, you know, climbing mountains and stuff. I deserve to have feet and legs that aren't completely whipped by brushes and twigs and everything. But at the same time, like, feel the sun on my skin, on my forearms, and get a very embarrassing sunburn. Our only sporty. How do I get Gatsby caps here? Okay, I have to admit, I kind of think this is cute. I'm going with that. I don't think there's much of anything in the other stores. There's bags, of course, but I don't really like most of the bags. And here we only have the canvas backpack, which admittedly is quite cute. Like, I would wear this in real life if the concept of a circular bag wasn't so, you know, ineffective. Yeah, I pretty much only found one bag that I really liked, and it's the default one. And when the default thing is the best they have to offer, then it's just not good. I will take this too. We're going like full school pride. We're like the kid who shows up to school with a school mascot, a school jersey, not with a school mascot, but a hat with a school mascot on. Like the obnoxious, we gotta represent our school kid. That's us at the moment. Did we get anything here yet? No? Okay. Oh, hello, Combi. That's cute. They're just hanging out. Yeah, the expensive leather bags are the only ones that are like actually really nice. And again, the full bag, it's good. It has a lovely brown color in violet, so it matches a lot with that, since it's such a, how do I put it, a casual shade of brown, like very dark, very accenty. I kinda wanna just walk away. Fine. I didn't really fall in love with Penny. I don't dislike her, I just think that there's some parts of her story that, if I'm being honest, it hit too close to home in a way that made me feel like, guys, it's okay to admit that you ended up being the bad guys. And I don't like that they basically just stop it. But they basically just ended up being excused when we know that there are things that Team Star did that wasn't okay. Strudel is one of those Pokemon that when I saw it the first time, I just had to stop and look at it. Look at them big eyes. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry if I spoiled anything. But Team Star kinda goes in the, we're not bullies because we were bullied. Yeah, and the reason that hits too close to home is that the one time I got accused of being a bully was, and I was about 9 years old, and my teacher tells me that I have to come with her and have a serious talk, and I was kind of surprised because, yeah, I'm not the kind of person who makes trouble. And she sits me down and she starts talking about one of my classmates, and she tells me, he didn't want to come to school today because of how you treated him. And I just wondered, what did I do? You bit him! Didn't you bite him yesterday? And I was like, yeah, I actually did bite him. What she didn't allow me to say was that the reason I bit him was because his hand was close to my mouth and his hand was pushing down on a hockey stick that was above my throat while he was straddling my chest. So I was on the ground and he was pushing me down and I was trying to get away, and I thought, I gotta get him to stop pushing. I'll bite him. And then I was the bully. So I kind of felt like when Team Star talks about their bullies, they talk as if they were justified, and I feel like the game plays it a little bit too straight with that. It appears that the Team Star intro makes the hardware glitch. That's a bit awkward. Alright, we can terrestrialize now. Yeah, that's it. Let's go with that. Yeah, I saw someone make a point about how Team Skull was received very positively. Because they were just a bunch of losers, basically. They weren't your typical evil team. But the thing is, they worked because that hadn't happened before. And we still had an evil team that we could fight alongside Team Skull when the time came. And then in Sword and Shield and here, they seem to have gone like, oh, okay, so you like the delinquent gangs instead of, you know, the evil mastermind who wants to destroy the world. Yeah, and I won't spoil entirely of what happens, but there is this one part when they talk. I think it is after you defeated all of them that they say something that really made me think like, oh, okay, so you are the bullies. You really suck. And it doesn't help either that it is a kid's game. So I get that they might not want to deal with too heavy subjects. But the only bullying we get to hear are things like, they made fun of the way I talked. They ignored me in class. They thought it was weird that I was exercising, apparently. And then one of them is just straight up said, you know, people are mean to you because you say things like, oh, it's okay, mommy will just buy me a new one because we're rich. Like that's gonna get people to be a little bit upset. Yeah, I think we can keep going. So yeah, I got a lot of feelings about the Team Star story, and I'm not too happy about them. I kinda wish that they got more time. Maybe I would have liked more if they were more developed. But again, like I said earlier, we're not here for the story, we're here for the little monsters. Hello, husbando. Yeah, sorry I went off on a bit of a tirade there about the nature of bullying and how it's portrayed in this game. Yeah, exactly, that part with the NPC girl saying, do you really believe that we could have bullied someone because we were bullied? And like, especially when the NPC girl says that. Because she's like, she used to be a bully. And then she got bullied. She used to be a bully. And she bullied Eri. And her friends bullied Eri along with her. And then her friends turned on her. So she has seen that bullying can shift like that. And that, you know, I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated with the whole... It hits a sore subject, the nature of victim blaming and what it means to be a bully. Yeah, exactly. Usually bullies used to be bullied. It's like, it's fairly rare that it happens within the same school from student to student. Like, but it usually happens like, or in the same class maybe I should say. But like if a middle schooler gets bullied, when he's in high school, he might bully. But they're trying to use the whole, no, I know what it's like to suffer, so I wouldn't make anyone else suffer, as a genuine excuse. And that's a bit silly. Because one of the harshest lessons I think people can learn, I think it's hilarious by the way, the whole, this scene in general, it's, I don't understand why they make them make them be animated like 8 frames per second. Yeah, exactly, it's the whole, I can't be an aggressor because I was a victim. And that excuse is a major red flag. Yeah. Because if that's the way they think, then they won't recognize what they are doing when they are doing it. And one of the most important things you need to know in life in general, I think, is that you're gonna have to watch out for yourself. You're gonna have to look at yourself and how you're acting and what you do. And you can't just ignore everything that you do. And you can't wait for someone to tell you that something you do is wrong. You're gonna grow as a person on your own as well. Let's check the cafeteria. I want to talk to Arvin. Yeah, exactly. Abusive in general is cyclical. It starts at one point, goes to the next, goes to the next, goes to the next, goes to the next, and then just keeps going. And I remember a study that I saw. It's a bit of a shift in subject, but I remember a study about the nature of chained acts. Like, you do something good, and that has consequences that continue to be good. And they did this with a very simple test. They tried to see how people reacted when someone held up a door open in public. And I found that if the person rudely smashed the door so that the next person would have to push it open, the next person would probably also smash the door. And the next person might smash the door. But usually after 3 people have done that, someone would be like, no, I'm gonna hold the door open for the next person. But if the first person held the door open, the next person held the door open. And I found that bad acts repeated like a few times, but good acts repeated much more often. And I thought that was interesting, because if we take that approach to generational trauma, I think this is getting a little bit too heavy at the moment. But like, as you say, break the cycle if it happened, because good stuff brings more good stuff. And it's generally not much more complicated than that. I love his phone cover, by the way. I love that Arwen is such a sweetheart. But yeah, that's my giant tirade about why Team Star are a bunch of whiny babies. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had such strong feelings about this. There are some really good uniforms. Can I change uniform yet? Yeah, I can. The spring uniform is very nice. Again, I wish I could change to a different length in pants. But it's very cute. The summer uniform, I'm not a huge... the summer uniform was the one we looked at. The spring uniform is the one I'm not a huge fan of. Because this screams little English boy who sells newspaper to me. Like, especially with that hat, now that I think of it. Like, you can just see this one go extra, extra, read all about it, sir. Now this one is kind of nice, but I think that the bright yellow vest kind of takes away from it. And the winter uniform is what I went with for most of my game, because it actually feels like clothing that I would wear going adventuring. Minus the tie. I don't see the point in having a tie when I might be climbing trees or jumping down cliffs. Feels like an invitation to get strangled. I think we'll go with the summer uniform for now. Oh, hello. Hello, Cassiopeia. You weird bleeder. Oh, do I know about Team Star? Oh, I just been ranting about them for 15 minutes. Yes, yes, yes. You're so brilliant. You're so smart. Operation Starfall. Excellent, excellent. I'm not exactly a big fan of Cassiopeia right now. Hello. I'm a big fan of you, sir. I'll behave, I promise. I'll see you later. Bye. I love you. Let's see now. There's one more thing I needed to do, right? Yeah, I'm gonna talk to her in the staff room. And I think there was nothing else. I'm trying to see if I can remember anything. Geeta, I don't think her 3D model works, honestly. Like her design, it definitely works if you like look at concept art. But her hair is too big. Also, one thing I don't quite get. Geeta is the La Primera. But in order to be called a champion, to reach the champion rank, you have to defeat her. Which means that everyone who is a champion rank has defeated the La Primera. And I really don't quite get how she can stay the La Primera then. I get a little bit confused sometimes, and maybe it's something that I would need more context in. Alright. Now we got all of the stuff here. I think we're gonna have to go with a level progression route in order to like not sacrifice any of our Pokemon. So I think that we're gonna have to go with a bug gym as soon as possible. Alright, I need to go to director's office. Yeah, sure, I've been here for one afternoon. And here he is. Runner-up for worst dad in the game. He has no business looking that hot, by the way. Like they really went with both him and the female equivalent in Scarlet. They really went like, okay, we're gonna make a professor that is way too hot. Do you remember the response to Professor Juniper, by the way? Or Juniper? Because I remember when those games came out and Professor Juniper's design was revealed and people were like, excuse me? A professor who is not an old man? Yeah, it does look like he's wearing some sort of Mass Effect thingy. Aww. Little Miraidon. You wanted to say hi. Miraidon is such a puppy. I wonder if that's an Aerodactyl foot. Is that an old amber? I can't... No, I can't use the camera. I thought that these desks were like secretary desks at first, but now I realize that it's all lab equipment. I wonder if it's all there to clouds. Alright. This is honestly a nice little dorm. Like if it would be an apartment, it would be very small. But it's actually kind of similar to the apartment that... yeah, I really wish that they did more with our dorm room. Because literally, after you've left this place, you have no reason to come back. There's no purpose in this room other than a story beat. And you got all this nice empty stuff. You should be able to do something about it. Like that's a problem, isn't it, with Scarlet and Violet? It's so clearly not actually finished. There are things that are lacking, there are things that are clearly wonky and unpolished. Yeah, like, you can heal in your bed, but what's the point of going to the school, and then going to the menu, and then going to the room, and then leaving the room and going out of the school, when you can just go to a Pokemon Center, or have a picnic? Like, unless you're a hardcore role player, there is no purpose for this room to be. Ah, and you're so excited, aren't you? Schoolyard? I definitely feel like they were trying to do both a little bit of Persona and a little bit of Fire Emblem Free Houses with the whole, oh yeah, there is a story, but you're also a student. You have to go to class, you have to take tests. But they really didn't go with it as far as I think they should have. I think that's a little bit of a shame. But when it comes to discussions about unfinished games, I always wonder, is this actually an issue that would have been fixed by a longer development time? Because I think that's the issue with AAA games these days. They're not passion projects anymore. When someone is making an indie game, there's so much love poured into those games. Look at my little cat mouth. There's so much love poured into indie games that I just don't feel from AAA games at all. And I think the last game that I felt like, oh yeah, the creator really loves this. That was admittedly incredibly recent. That was Bayonetta 3, and it got slammed because it wasn't... The reason I felt like, oh yeah, this is the creator's love project, is because it was doing things that I think, yeah, Hideki Kojima loves this. No one else does, but he does. It's exactly what he wanted. He's living his best life. One thing that I wish that we could have done, as much as I love our precious legendary, I wish we could have caught and ridden his Cyclizar. Yes, both Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield were definitely rushed in their development. It's not as bad as a lot of people are saying, because there are some people who talk about it as if it's literally unplayable. But it's definitely, for me, there's a definite feeling of I'm playing a late beta instead of a game that has gone golden, it feels like. And that's also one thing that early in the stream I compared it to Skyrim. And Skyrim came out and it was so buggy. It was so buggy. And I feel like this is less buggy than Skyrim. But both games are too big for a test team to handle it. The beta testers of new big games are the players. And that's not how it should be, honestly. But it's also, if we're gonna have games like this, and I think we deserve games like this, we're gonna have to accept that it's not gonna be released without faults. Yeah, the features are there, but they're definitely not polished. That's why I think it feels like a beta build rather than a finished product. But at least it's not an alpha build. Because an alpha build has functions missing, but a beta build is all about ironing things out. Yes, Cassidy, I know. I'm really curious to see how they're gonna approach this. Like, what are they gonna fix? What are they not gonna fix? I think we have more reason to be outraged if they just straight up don't fix it, rather if they fix it after release. But then again, I might just be opinionated at the moment. My brother studying to be a game developer at the moment. And I look forward to talking to him about stuff like this when he's gotten a little bit more experience, because I'd love to see how it actually looks like from an insider's perspective. Yeah, I also haven't had any huge glitches. Like, I've seen people have glitches where their characters freak out and models are breaking and stuff like that. None of that has happened to me. I have not fallen through the world. My mount has not disappeared. The only thing I have, basically, the only thing that I have that wasn't a graphical glitch was at one point when the B button stopped working. And I don't know how I managed to fix that, but eventually I fixed that. But other than that, every bug I've had have been either a visual inconvenience or a crash, which, because of the autosave, means that it's just restart. I think the worst glitch I had, like worse in terms of this made my experience worse, was when I was playing co-op and my friend started to do emotes. And I don't quite know what happened, but it was as if her character got stuck in that pose with one of her hands, but the rest of the model kept animating as it did. So like when she turned around, the hand tried to stay in the same place. It was weird. Not a single crash at all. That's good. Do you play handheld or docked? So I've heard that the docked version is more unstable than the handheld functions, or however you should put it. And I've also heard that the eShop version is more stable than the physical copy. So there's a lot of things that I don't quite understand with what's wrong and what's not wrong, so to speak. Yeah, apparently. Now, all I've heard is hearsay about that, so take it with a grain of salt. But I have heard that yes, the digital version is it's not crashing as often, it's not glitching as often. Now we gotta look at my darlings. Hello. You got one heart. I'm gonna have to take care of you a little. Oh, I should have bought sandwich stuff. I wish they would have kept a little bit more Ami stuff in the last two games. I guess why they don't. It's not necessary. It's literally just fluff. But damn, I loved Pokemon Ami. Yeah, she gave me a few things. It should be enough to make one sandwich or two. That is if I'm going recipe. If I go creative, I should be able to make several. Yeah, I can make these. Or I can just go like this. Let's make a strange sandwich. With butter and cream cheese and jam. I don't know what this sandwich is, but we're gonna see. We're not gonna eat it. Now a little bit of this I can actually understand. Because sweet and salty generally works quite well together. And I know that ham and watermelon, or no, not a watermelon, but honeydew melon, I believe, work very well together. So maybe strawberries can work with ham. I'm not sure about the cheese. Whoops. This is my beautiful sandwich. Oh, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever done. Ham and cheese sandwich with strawberries, cream cheese, butter, and what was it? What was the last thing I used? Yeah, the curry minigame was definitely better. I enjoyed the curry minigame a lot, and it had a little bit more variation. And it had one of my favorite features in that. And that was just visual, admittedly, but I loved that you could see the size of the portion that your Pokemon would eat. It made me feel so warm inside when I fed my little Joltik, and its entire serving fits on a spoon. And it was also hilarious to see that when you're trying to evolve Snom. And Snom is tiny! Snom is tiny and adorable. And it has a same size serving as my huge ass Rillaboom. Oh, it was so cute. It was definitely one of my favorite, like, fluff pieces. What are you doing? Hello. Yeah, I think we can play. Yeah. Like, oh god, a Cutiefly would probably burst if it ate an entire spoonful, but we're spoiling them. Alright, now I can catch a Pokemon, right? Yeah, I'm gonna catch a Pokemon here and try to Wonder Trade again. Because we're in the new area, I forgot about that. And the good thing is that since we're not gonna keep the Pokemon, it does not matter if we kill it or not. We're just gonna try to catch it. And I also love in the curry minigame, if you're making the instant noodles, like the cup noodles. I think it's hilarious that when you get the big size portion, you're just getting like 10 cups of instant noodles, and that's so funny. Alright, now we're gonna have to trade again. And the same rules as before applies. We're gonna try to aim for something that is not too strong. So I'm hoping that we will get something that is under level 15. That's what we're gonna set as a limit. Oh right, I need to move it into the box. Yeah, the sandwiches are really like... I don't even know if there's a way to fuck them up. Like, you can get a lower score, I know that much. But can you fuck them up to the point that they are ineffective? Now we wait for a little bit. There we go. So level 15 or less. And if it's a duplicate, that is if it's an Azurill or a Sharkadet, we're also training it. So not an Azurill, not a Sharkadet, and under level 15. A Magikarp! How wonderful! It's gonna be so useful in the coming battles. Oh. I wonder what level it is. Let's check. It's level 1! You know what? I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I would definitely do that, honestly. I would send a level 100 Magikarp everywhere. It would be so much fun. To just, like... It's just so... It's so pointless, it's hilarious. Like, you have to... Even if it's a Magikarp, you gotta work to get it to that level. It's gonna take time. There was a little glitch there, if you saw that. Koikingu! Koikingu. And we're gonna give it a name. Oh, I can't give it a name because it's another language. I see. So those two are from an English games, and that's why I could change them, is that it? But Magikarp is from Japan. I mean, honestly, I had so much fun with the most perfect Pokemon game, Magikarp Jump. Just racing Magikarps over and over and over again. And occasionally you would catch a Goldeen or a Feebas instead. Useless! You throw them away. I think you could even catch a Gyarados. And the player would go like, no, no, throw it back. And that's hilarious. Oh good, we finally have something that is harmful, that is not a water attack for Azurill. But for buff arms, I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't dead name you like that. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna go back into the picnic and see if I can just cheese Azurill's buff arms happiness a little bit. Magic of Jump. It was so hilarious because it was such a overnight success, if I remember it correctly. It wasn't really advertised before it was released. So it just dropped and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? And then people just got obsessed with it. I mean, it was lovely, it really was. You got 2 small hearts. Excellent. Let's wash you some more. I don't know if there's like diminishing returns for happiness if I just go back and forth between picnic and not picnic. Yeah, exactly the same, exactly the same. I saw it and I just realized that I don't think Magikarp can move from this spot. Oh, oh good, you can move. It was so hilarious because when I saw it, I literally thought it was a joke. And then I saw that people were playing it, like seriously playing it. And I thought, what are these losers doing? And then I started playing it, and then I was one of the losers. And that is especially fun when it's an auto-clicker game, and you end up playing it for hours. I never played the original, but it was definitely the kind of games that I'm like, yeah, I love this. I genuinely do. I mean, I'm the kind of person who played Cookie Clicker for like 3 months, I think, every day. I know that's not super extreme when you consider how crazy people got about Cookie Clicker, but it's still a lot. So yeah, that was one of the good experiences on Twitter. You logged in and suddenly everyone just loves Magikarp. I think my first image of Magikarp Jump was not actually a screenshot of the game, so I didn't get that it was a game. But it was that meme with Harrison Ford when he looks at 2 images and says that one of them is a baby boy and the other is evil. And it was with Magikarp and Pidgeotto. No, not... I don't remember who names of celebrities, so you can... If I was wrong about who it was, feel free to laugh. How are you feeling, honey? Are you happy? Yeah. Aww, Magikarp got stronger. Alright, what are you doing? Yeah. And like, people do have a soft spot for Magikarp, don't we? It is a useless Pokemon. Everyone knows this. And everyone knows that the only point of having a Magikarp is that it should evolve. And then you make a game where, if it levels up enough, you actually lose. And I think that's so funny. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like it when they have a chance to get critical hits. I think that's worth it. Okay, good. Yeah, it really was just a genuinely charming game. The animations were nice. The music was nice. And it had that clicker game charm of, yeah, this is pointless. Oh, yeah. And I think it's hilarious that Pokemon just... I don't think they make bad games. There's too much love in the base concept. So like you're gonna have to like not like Pokemon to have a bad time in a Pokemon game. Unless of course you care a great deal about the things I don't care about. Like I get people get upset about the textures being low res in Pokemon games and that models are low poly and stuff like that. I don't care. I fell in love with this game when it was 8 pixels wide not 8 pixels, but what's like... How high resolution did a Game Boy Color have? I think it was very little at least. And I still sat there and played it for hours and hours and hours. And I think that has sort of damaged me a little bit. Yeah, definitely potato pixel count. And I think it's because that's my bar. That's what I care about. And because of that, I have such a high tolerance for anything that the Pokemon Company can throw at me. It's like, does it look better than it did in the 90s? If the answer is yes, then I approve. And then of course you can argue if the pixels are more charming and better looking because of that. But then we're talking about something highly subjective. Oh, stop glitching. Whoops. Yeah, I really resent the attitude that a game must look good. Because in my experience, every game that has been hailed as looking good and realistic has been doing that for about 2 years maximum. And then it starts to look dated, because technology is catching up. But one of my absolute favorite games, Okami, it just got a high-res update and got re-released, and it's still one of the best games I've ever played. Doesn't matter that it was released in the early 2000s, it's still gorgeous. It's gonna stay gorgeous forever, because it's so stylized. But like, who would play Mass Effect 1 today? Not the remastered one, the original one today, and say, oh, it looks so good. It did look good when it came. Yeah, you do have a point there actually, because Mass Effect was one of my great loves. Yeah, I have been thinking that I want to replay Mass Effect soon. I don't think I still have the first game though, so I might actually have to get the re-release. Hello, Circadian Rhythm! Oh, it was? Oh, I should have checked that out. I don't keep track on the EA products anymore. $20 for the Legendary Edition! Okay, I'm gonna have to look. Yay, look at that! Buff Arms love me! He really loves me! I'm gonna have to look at that, because the Mass Effect trilogy, genuinely one of the best gaming experiences I've had in my gaming history, and I started playing games as a tiny little kid, going to my cousin's place just because he had a PlayStation. Like, Mass Effect was probably one of the first games where I actually branched out and bought something that was outside of my comfort zone. And I'm so glad that I did. And I remember that I bought it after Mass Effect 2 came out. Because I bought both Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 at the same time. And I came home and I couldn't start playing right away, so I put the game on the counter, just so it could be in arm's reach. And my brother saw it and he was like, Mass Effect? You You are so surprised. Yeah, it's definitely one of those games. That and Dragon Age were BioWare's gems, and they did so well in making it feel like you were like your character actually came with you as you played to the next installment. Not in Dragon Age, of course, but in Mass Effect. Oh, come on. I really wonder why it glitches out when I'm in the menu. Like, what is it with the menu that makes the capture card go like, oh, I hate this. But I have so many feelings about Mass Effect and Shepard and Garrus Vakarian specifically. It's definitely the game that made me cry the most when it ended. Yeah, if you... There's a lot of things that can change depending on who your character was, especially between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. Like, it will straight up change characters you meet, and many lines and stuff like that. Like, if you in Dragon Age 1 makes Aldister a king, he can show up in Dragon Age 2 as king with his vassal, and be like, oh yeah, I'm here to talk with the Viscount. I'm here to do my job as a king. If you let him stay a warden, he shows up as the warden you meet and has to do warden stuff and is heavily involved in that quest. And if you ruin his life and you turn him into a drunkard, he is at the bar lamenting everything and being mad at the world. And I thought that was funny. Garrus is my waifu. Garrus was my first real husbando. And the funny thing is, he was before I realized that you could romance him. I played through all of Mass Effect 1, and there's not much. The pickings are slim in Mass Effect 1. You got Liara, and you got Kieran, and you got... Look, why have I forgotten her name? I swear I like her. Why have I forgotten what her name is? Anyway, you got 3 love options, and I'm into none of them. Because I didn't like Kaidan, especially. Liara was a little bit too much born sexier yesterday. And the whole time I just went like, can't I romance, Rex or Garrus instead? They're interesting and I get along with them and I have so much in common with them. Kaidan is so boring. He's such a... I bet he actually eats milquetoast. He got a little bit better in Mass Effect 3, but not a lot. The bar was low. So because of that, I feel mean. But because of that, Kaidan was always the one that I'd leave behind for the suicide mission. No, not the suicide mission, when you attack the base with the Krogan, first Krogan cure, and you realize that you have to destroy it. Yeah, once you realize that you can romance the interesting people in Mass Effect 2, then it's like, oh, okay, so I just gotta navigate this in Mass Effect 1. And the moment I realized that Garrus was romanceable, I was like, oh, okay, so this is actually good. This is actually good now. I do like the tragedy angle. That doesn't help for me that I am very fond of voices. Like voices do work for me incredibly well. And all of the Turians sound so good to me. That it's that little reverb they have that just it's tickling me in places I didn't know I had back then. Yeah, oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. The first time I heard them, I remember when Nihilus appears and he starts talking, and he's like the second person to have a line in a game. Oh, not Ember. Not Ember. I gotta pay attention. Nihilus is one of the first persons to speak, and when he started speaking, I was like, oh, okay, good deal, good beans. And then Joker gets mad at him, and I'm like, Joker, shut up, I want him on my team, and then he dies. And I was so sad, because I didn't know Nihilus for less than a minute, and I loved him. I truly did. Oh yeah, that's my criticism of everything, basically. Like, I criticize my own OCs for not being gay enough. But I guess the world wasn't ready. Technically the world isn't ready yet. And that's why we gotta push the envelope a little bit. Yeah, that's always the worst part with recommending games that have romance in them. And you're like, oh yeah, it has romance options, and that's good. Except all the romance options are bad. I wouldn't know, I always played femship. I tried playing maleship once. And as you say, his voice is not good. Let's see here. I'm not sure if I feel ready for the gym yet. I mean, we do have a type advantage. And I wanna beef them up a little bit. Yeah, see, that is why you listen to people when they say, yeah, no, dude, voices are important. Voices are so important. I don't want to train against Igglybuffs because they can usually handle some special attacks. Let's just go back to where we saw the small legs and hot lips. And of course, Jennifer Hale. She is one of my favorite voice actors. She's in everything. And it does get kind of like, oh, it's Jennifer Hale in this too? But she's doing a phenomenal job. She took over as Bayonetta's voice in Bayonetta 3. And I was so surprised, because I've been playing Bayonetta for years. And while I wasn't so fond of the actress, the voice is fantastic. And I was really worried when I heard that she was gonna be voiced by Jennifer Hale. Or rather, I was worried when I heard that she wasn't gonna be voice acted by the same voice actress. But then I heard that she was gonna be voice acted by Jennifer Hale, and I was just like, okay, things are probably actually gonna turn out okay. We can probably do some decent auto battling here. And I love that Jennifer Hale got really into the Mass Effect trilogy herself. Or at least the character. I don't know if she's a gamer. She felt so attached to the characters and their stories. So that in Mass Effect 3, if you have romance Garrus, you have a very heartfelt conversation there about the fact that as soldiers they must accept that they might not come back. And Jennifer Hale had to retake that line over and over because she started crying. Because it was just so emotionally loaded for her, and you can hear it in her delivery. I get very, very happy from games that make me feel nostalgic. And Pokemon obviously is one of the big ones. My first game was Pokemon Yellow, and after that I was stuck. But Mass Effect is definitely another one on the list of like games that define who I am. No, not the Diglett. I don't want you to actually do it. Where are you going? There you are. I wasn't really having any feelings about Red Head Shep because I had gotten so attached to my shepherd. So when the Red Head Shep came along, and people were either happy or sad about it, I just sat there like, yeah, I don't care, I'm never gonna see her. Because I had a very specific build and idea of my shepherd. That being said, I do have a soft spot for redheads. When Fire Emblem Free Houses had just came out, I started talking with someone about the characters that I really got attached to over the Fire Emblem franchise, and it was a little bit embarrassing after a while, because I was like, oh yeah, in Sacred Stones my favorite was Joshua. And then my favorite in Papa Radiance and Radiance Dawn was Tormund. And then my favorite was Severa, who I would always have as with Gregor as her father, so she would be redhead, and I loved her father as well. And then I really liked Saiso, and now I like Ferdinand. So after a while I was just like, wait a minute. Wait, they actually made it so that the previous default was the previous default not even an option as like one of the presets. Like, did you have to rebuild her from the ground up? Yeah, why did you fight a Diglett, honey? Why did you fight a Diglett? This is exactly what I warned you about. Like on one hand I get why they would want to rebrand her, because yeah, it came out at a time when that was a very hot subject, you know, women in video games and all that. And the default did strike me as kind of like, oh, we're just not gonna do anything special with it. But you know, if you get attached to it, you get attached to it. That's just how it is. And I'm definitely the kind of person who gets attached to custom character looks. To the point that when Dragon Age Inquisition came out, and I tried to do another Elven Inquisitor after my main, I just couldn't keep going. I couldn't. She had to look like herself again. Kinda wanna fight that terrestrialized eaglet, but I'm a little bit scared. So I don't got a lot of type competition, composition right now. I wonder if you can fight terrestrialized without that. I'm gonna try. I don't think you can. I know that it's. I know that they won't attack shinies, and it appears they won't attack terrestrialized either. Yeah, like didn't they like base? I'm going for it. You're going for it. Didn't they like base Mailship on some Canadian model because they wanted to be like, oh, he's gonna be like the attractive guy, and then his voice acting is just like, eh. All right, it's still ground, so we're safe. I remember how there were a lot of people who, when they found out that his voice, his appearance is based on a model, they were like, that guy? That's the standard for what a male model should look like? Because it was like, women models have such high standards on how they must look. And then you have a guy who just looks like a guy, and they're like, oh yeah, he's attractive, then he'll pass the bar. I'm a little bit worried about going to the gym with my 2 mains on level 15, but at the same time I'm also like, I don't want to go too far, because if they gain several levels during the gym, I don't know if they're gonna start disobeying when they hit 20. So I don't want them to start disobeying in the middle of the gym battle. I think level 16 should be safe. I really like this little town. It looks like a nice place to live. And I do love the architecture of the houses. It's very neat how they made all the areas very different parts, but I still feel, if not necessarily a Spanish influence in most of the places, I definitely get a sense of Mediterranean. And I think that's really lovely. What, you don't want to fight? Don't want to fight at all? Go get that Diglett. Come on. Alright, I guess you're not gonna. I do think that the curious, passive Pokemon that just come and check you out. That's a very, very nice feature with the open world Pokemon that could not have been done otherwise. Like, look at it, it's a little Mareep and a bigger Mareep. And they're curious. Yeah, it's not as easy to see in this game, I feel. But just like Arceus, they have the visible size difference. And it's so cute. I mean, they look like they're good friends. I hope you take care of your little sibling. Sharkadet is just running around me, all happy. And that one is bigger than the middle one. Mareep is a Pokemon that I have such a soft spot for. I love how you just start talking about the yeah, culture and Spain and the way one country can be very different in the different places. And Mareep! Yeah, I'll send it to you after the stream. Like when I saw that Pokemon Center had those meme $500 Mareep, I was like, oh no, God. Must they mock me? But yeah, the Spanish influence. I know that the olive trade is huge in Mediterranean countries where olives thrive. So like Italy is famous for Italy and Greece in particular are like there's actually a story about that I think is hilarious about cultural exchange and how it does make a difference if you try to learn about your own culture's differences and what you can bring to others while still respecting their culture and what they can bring to you and make it something new. Because in Sweden, after the Second World War, most of Europe was like in ruins. Yeah, the auto battles don't work on shinies, that's been confirmed. Well, that's thank goodness for that. So if you find a Pokemon that is only a very mild difference and your Pokemon won't attack it in auto battles, then you know that it's a shiny. So that's very nice. But anyway, after World War II, most of Europe was in ruins. But Sweden had made it relatively unscathed because of, you know, we decided to be cowards. Which I kind of feel like I don't actually mind. I feel like I like being a surviving coward, okay? But anyway. Italy was in the shit. They had such problem, and one Italian was a young man who decided that no, I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna go to a better place, and Sweden was a better place at the time. So he drove on his Vespa all the way from Italy to Sweden. And when he arrived, he was dismayed to find out that he couldn't cook the food that he was used to cooking. Because at that point, we had not yet started using olive oil in our food. He had to go to the apothecary to get like tiny bottles with like half a cup of olive oil and buy several of those bottles just to cook food that he could recognize. And he got so annoyed by that. And he went back to Italy on his Vespa loaded it up with a bunch of olive oil, and went back to Sweden and started selling it. And today, the biggest producer and deliverer of olive oil in Sweden is called Zeta, after him. Because he funded it and built it up. And that's the reason why we use olive oil in Sweden. Because a guy and his Vespa were very, very adamant. And I love that story. I love stories about how food and its culture grows and finds its way to new places. That's very interesting. I read an interview with that guy and his family. I think it's not a complete rags to riches story, because you can get quite a bit of a boost as an entrepreneur if you too marry a rich heiress, which he did. He fell in love with a Swedish girl who was wealthy, and initially I think that her family disapproved of him because he was poor and an immigrant, but eventually they accepted him and helped him establish his business. Yeah, exactly. I want a Swedish heiress. I'm sorry I can't provide that role. I promise I would be a good trophy partner. But dang, sometimes you just gotta indulge and just have that little fantasy of like, oh yeah, what if I do meet a kind and sheltered billionaire whom I can teach about true love and passion for the little things in life. Like sometimes you just gotta let yourself have that thought. How we lived without olive oil? I'm not sure you're gonna like the answer. We didn't use much oil in general. I think we used lard. I think that was it. I think you used animal fat. You know, I think most people have the fantasy of meeting someone who's like, oh yeah, I'll take care of you. You know, financially. At least at some point in their life. I'm sure there are lots of people who are like, no, I want to be independent economically, but come on, the fantasy is nice. The actual situation, maybe not, but the fantasy is nice. I remember reading an older cookbook, and I got so surprised when I'm not sure if it said lard or shortening. I'm not even sure if lard or shortening are different things or the same thing. But I remember reading it in an old recipe book, and I turned to my mom and I was like, Mom, what is that? Do we have that? Do we need to go and buy that? And my mom was like, no. I don't think it exists anymore, not when we discovered that there were alternatives. And yet, that's what most people use before processed oil became a commonplace in the kitchen, I think. I think that's why it's so common to find recipes with whole tubs of lard. Oh yeah. I would take being a trophy wife if it means that I never have to worry. Because I have been both comfortable and horribly desperate. Like there was a point when I went without income for 6 months after I had moved into my first apartment, which had a down payment of all my money, and I had just found out that I was denied for a student loan. So I had an apartment which contained a TV, one bed, had a kitchen, had nothing else. And I was like, oh, I didn't get what I was going to, but very good. And there was nothing else, and I was just lying there in my bed, in my unfurnished apartment, like, okay, so how little can I eat in the foreseeable future in order to be able to make rent? And at that point I really would have accepted, you know, a kind sugar daddy who don't want to have too many extreme kinks or preferences. Ooh, that was close. Oh, that was close. I don't like that. Our farms, you're gonna... Ah, that scared me a little bit. Why is it glitching? I try to keep an eye on the stream, and it frustrates me when I just see a bunch of bars. Okay, good. Buff farms is good again. You stop that. You stop that. No, I've been lucky with my economy situation otherwise. Because my family has... They haven't been well off, but they've been comfortable for most of their lives. There was a brief time when my mother was also pretty much just above poverty line. But then she got lucky. My mom has insane luck. It's called Buff Arms because when I was gonna name Aurora, my shark cadet, I got the suggestion Buff Arms, but I saw it too late. So I named Azrael Buff Arms. And I love him. And my mom had the strangest of luck. She's like the definition of unlucky in love, lucky in gambling. Except she did get lucky with love eventually. I wonder if that's not just the biggest gamble of all. Because she had a lot of, like, not terrible boyfriends, but like almost the worst step, the indifferent boyfriend. So she was the older woman to a guy who kept telling her, no, I'm gonna leave my wife for you. And she, young and stupid, believed him. And after that she met my biological father. Oh, I didn't like that, I didn't like that at all. Oh, I'm a little bit scared, I'm a little bit scared. Oh, thank goodness, oh my god, if she had missed, I would have been very upset. My birthfather, we've been having a lot of conversations in my family lately. My biological father is a bit weird. We think he's a narcissist, and my mom realized that pretty quickly. And she divorced him when I was just a year old and took me with her. And at first she got shared custody, but then he forgot that I was on the upper floor and I fell down the stairs. And then he was like, oh, but sure, if you think I'm a bad dad because I didn't watch my kid when she fell down the stairs, then you can go ahead and take full custody. And my mom was like, okay, yeah, I'll take full custody, thank you. But he had 3 more kids from a previous marriage. He was a widower when he and mom met. And my oldest sister, she also realized that he was not a great dad pretty quickly. So she, what is it called in English, emancipated herself from him. She went ahead and packed her bag, went to her friend, and said, "I'm not going back home. I'm gonna call social services instead when it's time for me to leave." And my brother is a little bit too similar. to my dad, so he doesn't quite see what he is like. I'm a little bit nervous about the gym, but I'm gonna do it. But my youngest sister, she did not accept that our dad wasn't a good dad until literally a few months ago, when she realized that he's never gonna care. So we've been talking a lot about that lately. Sorry, that's a bit a too heavy subject all of a sudden. It's just like, yeah. I feel so much for my sister because she's the sweetest person on earth, and she has always defended our dad. And my mom has been sitting there like, yeah, that's great. You do realize that your dad moved literally across the earth to get away from all of his responsibilities. Because that's what he did. The moment he was retired, he moved to Réunion, which is an island off the coast of Madagascar, with a population of 3,000 and 2 active volcanoes and sharks. And it's in the pathway to that a hurricane takes often. And if that hurricane hits the island, they're gone. So that's where he decided that I would rather live here than in the same country as my kids. And it's not until like now that my sister started to realize that, oh, okay, he's not coming back from that. But despite that, she grew into a fantastic woman. My sister is one of my absolute favorite people in the world. And she's incredibly strong, even though she doesn't give herself enough credit for it. And I love her so much, so if I get an excuse to talk about her, I tend to babble on. I think she's so great. And it's been amazing to see her realize that she is standing on her own 2 feet. Not that she has to stand on her own 2 feet, that she is. And I'm so glad that she is the person she is. I'm gonna start sounding so corny. Or worse, start crying because I'm getting emotional about her. This little minigame is so weird. I feel like it comes a little bit out of left field because there's no other minigame like this. Yeah, I wanna see you because I wanna see if I'm strong enough. Yeah, there's few things that get me emotional, like talking about my family, honestly. Because I have such I wouldn't say complex family, but damn, they're complex people. I have a very normal family built out of complex people. So like, my bio dad is not in the picture, obviously. But my stepdad has been since I was 3 years old, and I love him so much. He's everything a father should be. But maybe not quite good at picking up like hints. He's we think that, like me, he's also having like some mild autism. I think I should be able to beat the gym leader with this. My dad is like, he's the sweetest teddy bear on earth. And I do call him my dad rather than my stepdad, because he's never been like step. I did get taught that he was my stepdad when I was really little. But I was so little that I couldn't pronounce it. So I just called him my dad. if I'm gonna translate a mispronouncement. And by the time that he and Mom married, he was already dead. That's what I call him. But anyway, I got into this subject because I wanted to talk about my mom's incredible luck. That was a rather big detour. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, my mom's crazy luck. So she has won so many things. She has almost won so many things that she started to get used to winning. Among the things she has won are a Garfield stuffed animal Garfield, like Garfield the cat, which was 5 foot tall. She has won a big screen TV, back before big screen TVs were big deals, or when they were back before they stopped being big deals. She has won a car, a proper sports car, a two-seater convertible. I don't remember which. I remember it was a Mazda, but I don't remember what type it was. And unfortunately, we had no use for it, so she just sold it. And that's how she bought a Nintendo 64 for me and my brother. So we used to call our Nintendo 64 the sports car, because that's what got her the money she needed to do a bunch of small things. And we redid the house, and she got us a bunch of very nice things. And we were talking about this because of my stories about my economy. And my mom, after she divorced my bio dad, was in a real tight spot. She had me, and she had a very small apartment. She had 2 cats, one of which had been dumped by her, by my stepdad, by my bio dad. And I had just had surgery as an infant, and Mom had just recently had to talk her way out of a pretty severe ticket because a cop caught her with summer tires rather than winter tires. And that can be pretty costly. And so I think she did something. She like answered a survey or something, and the reward for answering the survey was a instant lottery ticket. I just want to check TRs if I can. I want to see if I can teach my team some better moves before we go. And she scratched it, and suddenly she had $10,000. And she just called my aunt and was like, yeah, I don't really know what to do. I just need to talk to someone rational so that I know that something actually... so that I know that this happened. I think that's so typical of her. There doesn't appear to be anything... Oh, that's kinda nice. So my mom has this like incredible luck that has gotten her out of a tight situation, and I think that's hilarious. Oh, we want this one. Yes, I want to teach buffworms how to do a disarming voice. At which point he will just be buff. Okay, we have higher attacks. I mean, Yeah, I think that our attack is gonna be stronger than our special attack, so I'm gonna skip Bubble Beam and go with Aqua instead. I just love my mom's little crazy stories. When she won that money, she didn't really know what to do with it. And a very common thing with the lottery winners is that they don't know what to do. So they do everything. They like loosen the purse strings and often lose a significant amount of what they actually won. In like a frenzy. And she did put it to good use. But she did things like she bought me a rattle because I was just a baby. And that rattle was made out of silver. Like it was so unnecessary, but she really wanted to spoil me. Alright, we're gonna fight against the gym leader and hope everything goes well. Hopefully. I'm a little bit nervous about this gym battle. It's the only good move we have really is Ember. But we're gonna have to do the best we can. Ah. We still have the silver rattle, by the way. It's very nice. It's very cute. It's a little silver heart with like beads in it. It's very, very cute. And my mom has always been that kind of person. She's not very good with money when it comes right down to it. So it's a good thing she has this crazy luck. Because I don't know what she would have done otherwise. I love Nimble. It's so tiny. Let's see how... Okay, good. No? Okay, good. Just so you know, I'm gonna panic like several times. Because as long as I don't know how hard they're gonna hit, I'm gonna be scared. Because I have gotten very attached to Aurora and both arms. Tarantula. I'm wondering if I should switch to buff arms. Just so that Aurora isn't in too much trouble. But no, we'll keep going, I keep thinking, oh, should I be doing something better? Something smarter? But I think we should be okay. Like, I'm actually gonna heal now, because it's not doing much damage. And our next Pokemon is gonna terrestrialize. You gotta think ahead. We're playing 4D chess here. A very boring version of 4D chess for those who are experts at it. But it is cuter. Alright. We're gonna do this. I think I am a little bit too scared because of my experience with my previous Nuzlocke, which was a randomized Nuzlocke. And if you saw that, you remember first attacks. And it was just too strong. But we should be able to do it. I really like that little... The power of the Terra Orb is so strong that everyone sort of reacts to it. Some of them have to hold on to their hats or stuff like that. Some of them actually stumble. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, good. I hate first swipes because I have so many experiences of, especially gym leaders, using first swipes. And they get it all the 5 times. And it's a pretty powerful attack at that point. Aurora survived where Hero fell. Oh! Seriously? That was quick. You were not a Mariel for long, buff arms. There we go. The arms are buffer. Water and fairy. It's so cute. That went well. I'm glad. Now once this talking and all that stuff is over, I'm gonna have to end the stream because I am getting really hungry. I didn't realize how long we had gone. We're gone for 3.5 hours. And I hadn't eaten beforehand. So I'm starting to feel like, yeah, I should probably just, no. I ate a piece of bread earlier, but I haven't eaten food. But yeah. We're just gonna get some fangasm from Nimona. Oh well, it went well, honey. Alright. I just wanna heal, so I don't forget that. There we go. This was a very nice start, I think. We got some good Pokemon on our team. I'm a little bit worried about how Aurora is gonna do until we can get to a city where we can find the evolution item. Also, can we please just take a moment and look at this lady? I think she deserves to be beholden. There, she has been beholden. Here we have beheld her. Yeah, that was lovely. I really enjoyed this actually. I'm definitely gonna keep going on this save file in another stream. And I hope you guys will come and say hi then too. But until then, I hope you'll have a continued night.